Hello, welcome everyone. Good to see you all. How are we doing? German Day, eh? How are we going to celebrate that, Mr. Bell? I wonder. Good to see you all again. How are you? Have you had a good week? Got my Doctor Who t-shirt on today. I'm missing me Doctor Who. Absolutely. You know, we've been out without Doctor Who for too long now. So everybody say hi. I've been talking to a couple of you anyway. Good to see you, Megan. Good to see you, Helen. Good to see you, Bell Boys. So today we are doing Welsh cakes because on the 1st it was St. David's Day. So we celebrate everything Welsh. You can't hear me. Okay. Can everybody else hear me? You might need to turn on your microphone. Yes. Okay, so you can hear me, all right. So Megan, have a go on yours. Down the bottom of the screen, probably here, there's a microphone. Oh yeah, volume, well done. Can see we've got some engineers in the house. Good. Lovely. Volume. Remember, volume. V-O-L-U-M-E. Okay. Yeah. Back. Is everybody back to college on Monday? So who's your favourite Doctor then, Helen? My one was the 4th Doctor because that's when I grew up. So you always like the 4th Doctor, Tom Baker or Sylvester McCoy I quite liked. Okay, so we're going to give it two more minutes. So like I say, we're making Welsh cakes. So these, you can't see them there. I'll hold them on there. These are some I prepared earlier. So they are a bit like a pan-fried scone. Okay. Matt Smith, yeah. Matt Smith was good of the new ones. Hey, Ethan. Hi. Welcome. So these are what we're going to be making. Now you roughly make about 10 or 11 of these, okay, depending on what size you want. And they're going to be about 1 centimetre thick. And you don't need a rolling pin for these. But if you like to use a rolling pin, feel free, but just don't push too hard. How are we doing, Megan? Are we sorted? Have we sorted out our volume program? So we're going to make a start. And here, as if by magic, well, I'm going to have to watch that then, aren't I? Yes, Mr. Bell. I've watched the one on the bus driver, on the bus simulator. That was very good. Amazing 15 minutes of my life, that was. Now I know what to do if I need to drive a bus. So like I say, these are what we're making. So they're sort of in the shape of scones. I'm going to move those over there. And that was my first try. So we're going to make an even better lot this time, aren't we? No problem. I was truthful. If I didn't like it, I would have said I didn't like it. So what are we going to need? What are we going to need for this? So you're going to need a frying pan of some sort, or anything flat that fits on the stove. So most people have got a frying pan. Doesn't matter if it's non-stick or not. Okay. So we're going to need that. Doesn't matter what size it is. This size, I suppose, is nearly, say, 30 centimetres. And I fitted the whole batch in there. If you've got a smaller one, then just put less in, okay? Try not to overload it. And the trick is with this is don't have the gas on too high, because it needs to cook all the way through. Hey, Robert, great to see you. Welcome. So don't put it on too high, because we need all that heat to get all the way through and cook it all the way through. Otherwise, if it's too hot, then what happens is when you cook it, it will be brown on the outside and not cook in the middle. Hey, Oliver, how you doing? You okay? Good to see you. Yeah, cup of tea. Absolutely. I've been told by a Welsh friend of mine that the perfect thing to have with these cakes is a nice cup of tea. Yes, yeah, back on Monday, absolutely. Nice cup of tea. Now, what else do you think we could put on with those? Bit of cream, bit of jam. My favourite is raspberry jam with the bits in. Hands down. Right. So, is everybody ready? Give us a thumbs up to say if you're ready, or anything. Just put ready. Howdy, Bell. Oh, I bet you can't wait. I bet you can't all wait to get back. I can't. So, here are our ingredients. And it's not much this week. So, in my mixing bowl, I've got 225 grams of self-raising flour. Okay, so there's different types of flour, or three basic types, I think. There's plain flour, there's self-raising flour, and there's wholemeal flour. Okay, so self-raising has baking powder in. So baking powder, you have two types of what we call raising agents. You have baking powder. Make sure I don't take the same one out. Yes, so we have baking powder and we have bicarbonate of soda. So this one doesn't leave any taste. So whereas this one will. Okay, this one will leave a taste. The Solitarians, are they? Ooh, and the Weeping Angels. They're really scary, the Weeping Angels. Okay, so gingerbread, etc., sticky toffee pudding, all use the bicarb because it doesn't matter. Well, it actually, to you little scientists out there, once it's cooked, it leaves washing soda. I can't remember the chemical compound for that, but it gives you a soapy taste in the mouth, which is fine if it's something like gingerbread. Okay, so if you haven't got any self-raising flour, you could add just a teaspoon of baking powder into plain flour, and that would do it. Okay, so got my 225 grams of self-raising flour. I've got 1 egg. I've got 50 grams of sultanas. Now, if you want to use any other, fruit, then you can. Okay, or if you want to put nuts in it, that's fine. Might not be a Welsh cake, but hey ho. Then we have our caster sugar. Well, we've got 85 grams of that. Then we've got 110 grams of butter. Or you could use Vitalite, you could use anything. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then I've got mixed spice. If you haven't got mixed spice, don't worry. You can. This has got cinnamon, nutmeg, nice little flavour. You can put you can put just cinnamon in. Or if you just want to leave that out, you're not really a herby person, don't worry. Okay, so Robert, in answer to your question, I have made gypsy tart, but it was a long time ago and I can't remember what's in gypsy tart. Is it an egg custard one? Is it a bit like bread and butter? And remind me. Okay, so we are going to make a start. I've got some pastry cuts as well, depending on what size you want. I like colourful things. Okay, you don't want them too big. So, I'll pop that orange one just by the side. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to put the butter in. And hopefully not the container as well, like I did. Okay, so just pop that in. Then in goes our sugar. Okay, now then put your hands in there. And then all we want to do is just coat the butter in the flour. And then we're going to rub it between our fingers. So our fingertips. So you see, just my fingertips have got the white flour on it. You don't want the flour up here. Okay, and then we're just going to rub it in, okay? Now, if you put the flour on top and then rub, put the flour on top and then rub it, and then you don't get it all over your hands, hopefully, and the butter doesn't stick. So we are just literally break it up a little bit as well if you want to. That helps it. Hello, Robert and Mum. Ah, right, I see. Okay. Yes, so the gypsy tart. Yeah, I can't remember. Is it or is it? It's like a treacle tart, isn't it? I think. I always get confused with that one. Good to see you, Robert. Hope you're well. Haven't seen you in such a long time. It seems like ages, doesn't it? What is made of AdBlue? That's what you stick in your engine, isn't it? Okay, so you can see we're rubbing that through and then lift it up gently. And what this does is this cools the butter down. Okay, because if you're all right in there going, then it heats the butter up and it makes it more difficult to handle, which is not too bad because it's not that warm at the moment. But if you're trying to do this in the summer, it's really bad and you get into a terrible mess. Now, chaps, just want to say while you're in here, have you all subscribed? I know a couple of you have. So what you have to do is you click at the bottom and it says subscribe. If you do that, then every time I put a video up, it will tell you. And it also sends you the links as well. So it makes life just a bit easier. You don't have to search for it. Okay, so that is done. And what we're looking at is we're looking at a nice sandy beach. Okay, no lumps. Now, if you give that a quick shake, then if there's any big bits, they'll all come to the top. And you just give them. Okay, so are we all done there? I'll give you a few minutes while you're doing that. Okay, I'm going to go and wash my hands. Okay. Great, Oliver. Well done. So we're all feeling better now, Robert, eh? Everybody okay? Are we okay to move on? So next, I'm going to take my mixed spice. Okay, lovely. Take my mixed spice and I'm going to put about half a teaspoon in there. Sometimes it won't come out, or it's all comes out at once, doesn't it? Okay, so we've got half a teaspoon there. And that goes. Next go our sultanas. Okay, and then next, 1 egg. Now, if you want to crack that into another bowl, first of all, just make sure you don't get any eggshell in there. Once you've done that, then pop it straight into there. Now, if you do get some eggshell in there, what do? Take the other half of the egg, okay, and chase it around, and it's like a magnet to the rest of the eggshell. So you'll be able, the eggshell will go towards the other eggshell, okay, and just take a bit out, and then that's it, job done. So we're going to pop that away. And then next, that's going to go into there. Now for this, I'm going to use a fork or a spoon you can use. Fork's a little bit better for this job. Okay, and we're just going to stir it round and just work that together. It's easier not to use your hands on this bit because one, you don't want to warm it up too much. And when we're doing pastry things, they don't want to be warm. If we're doing bread, bread loves to be a bit warm, but pastry doesn't. Everything pastry needs to be cold. So I'm just working that together. See there. Now what we may have on some of these is, very soon, I've been practicing, I've got a head cam. All right, and I don't mean a cam belt, I mean a head cam. So it fits on here and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing. So we're going to have a go with that maybe in a couple of weeks. So I might look a bit funny because I've got a camera on my head, but we'll see it having a go at that and see if you find that better. So you can see right into my bowl. I know. I look a bit stupid though. But my wife says I look stupid all the time, so what can I say? Okay, so that's starting to come together. So what we're going to do is we're going to just tip that out. See here. Now, if you've got a little bit of flour, you might need a little bit of flour. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently push this together. Okay. Now this is pretty similar to making scones. Okay. We're just going to push that together. So you see. Right. And the idea with these scones or Welsh cakes is not to work it too much. So I'm going to make that into a big burger. I'm going to push it down a little bit and push it back over. And then just going to put some flour down. Okay, not too much. Don't go down. I only want it to stop it sticking. Okay, then a little bit on the top. So you see, I'm only putting a little bit. Okay, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to pat that down to 1 centimetre. So you can do it with your hand like that. Just go round and round and round. Just make sure it's nice and even. Now, if you want to use a rolling pin, then feel free to use a rolling pin. But when you roll it, just very gently. Okay? Turn it. All right, because you want to keep it level. Okay, turn it again. Okay. And if it starts sticking, you can just a little bit of flour. Okay, so we're nearly there. Okay, roll the other way. So you see, I'm literally just rolling the rolling pin over it. I'm not putting too much pressure. Okay, so there we are. So can you see that? All right. So then next is a pastry cutter. Forgot what that was called for a minute. Okay, so one side is crinkle. So we call that fluted. So if you ever see that on a recipe and it says fluted, then that's what that means, the crinkly. Thank you very much, Oliver. I have a couple of Doctor Who t-shirts. My kids like buying them for me at Christmas. Okay, so next we're going to cut out. So remember when we've done this at college, so right at the edge, you don't want to waste anything. So there's one. Just push that out gently. Two, and get it as close as you can to the other bits. All right, you don't want to start from the middle. We want to start from the edge. Okay, just press down. Now it comes. Okay, so the idea is we don't want to handle these at all very much. The less we handle them, the less we heat them up. Okay, the more they get heated, the more difficult it is to handle. Now, like I say, you can make these whatever size you like, but remember, you've got to flip these in this frying pan. Okay, so I'm up to about 9 at the moment. So I reckon we will probably get about 12 out of this. I got 11 earlier, but I made them slightly thicker. So can you see? Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this back together, roughly. That was it, what I've got left. Okay, and all I'm going to do is push that back down. All right, and then get another 2 out of that. And I always think when you do things like that, all right, these are the better ones. Give those to your mum or your gran or your dad. Okay, and then we'll roll that together and then we'll put it over it and just squeeze that into it. So we'll get another one. So this can be your tester one. This can be the one that you think, oh, are they cooked? I'll test that just in case. Okay, so we're going to flatten that down. Okay, so we're ready to rock and roll. So I'm not going to clean down at the moment because what I want to do is I want to get those in the pan. Right, so I shall swap round here and we'll just bring you a little closer. So now you can see my stove. So what I need to use now is I've got a fish slice, okay? Any sort of fish slice, doesn't matter, whatever you like to use. I've got my pan. So turn the pan on. So remember where the big flame is, okay? And then there's a small flame. So remember, you turn it down to the small flame, like that. Okay, and then we're going to turn it about halfway to start with, just to get the pan hot. Okay, move the pan over. All right, if you need to use a cloth to hold the pan, remember if it's going to get hot, okay, watch out for that. So then I'm going to put a little bit of oil in there. Okay, just a little bit. You can put a little bit of butter, up to you. If it's a non-stick pan, you really don't need, I'll come back down here. You really don't need too much oil, okay? Because they're not going to stick, okay? So that's going to get warm. So we're going to leave that about another 30 seconds. So if you're doing this at home afterwards, leave it for another minute. And then we're going to get ready. So we're just going to lay this, put these on your fish slice and then pop them in, okay? So it's not going to be too hot. So literally just push that in and that will rest on the bottom. Okay, we'll see if this makes a difference. I'm going to flick this on and off, see if you can see a bit better. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay. So you can see this side more, that's okay. Right, so off we go. So in they go. So you don't have to cook them all at once, okay? I'm just going to cook a batch for this recipe so you can see. But if you need to take more time later, then that's fine. I'll cook another batch probably afterwards. So now, if you're worried about whether these are cooked or not, then you can pop them in the oven at about 200 degrees for 20 minutes. Oh, sorry, not for 20 minutes, for about 5 minutes. I think that would cook them all the way through. All right. So I'm going to pop this in the fridge. I'm going to do those a little bit later. So they are just getting a little bit hot there. So it takes a lot of time, and I'll try and stop saying so. It will take a lot of time for these to cook. You don't want to rush them. We want to control the heat, which is half of the skill of cooking, is controlling the heat and how the heat gets into our food. All right? Now, let's talk about vegans and vegetarians. So if you're a vegetarian, you can have the butter and you can have the egg. Maybe some people don't like having eggs, which is fine. You can probably replace the egg with milk or with any type of plant-based milk. I like my oat milk. I think that's quite nice and quite tasty. But some of them will split off. They're not very good when we're doing cooking. Okay, so please read the back of the label. Okay. Lovely. Now, is everybody keeping up? Is everybody okay while we're waiting for these to cook? And I'm just going to put my washing up in a moment so I can get it all soaking, ready for when I finish. Okay, so remember your sides like at college. What we're going to do is we're going to just take off all our bits and bobs. So that's known as debris. Okay, so just with a piece of paper, all right, or a cloth that goes in the bin. Next, I'm going to get my cloth. Is going to be hot soapy water. So hot soapy water goes down and we get rid of everything. Then I'm going to rinse it. So I've rinsed my cloth out. And I've got plain water on there to get rid of anything. And I'm just going to give it a spray with my anti-bac and give it a wipe. Okay, so there we are. I can smell them cooking. You can smell it's like baking. So we're going to turn those over. We'll see how they're doing. Wow. These are looking good. Okay, so you can see the colour. Right, we're looking on a golden brown. And turn it round if it makes it easier. Okay, so that's the first side. So probably a good 5 minutes that's taken. So now we do the same the other side. Great, lovely, Helen. Well done. Just going in the pan, brilliant. As like I say, don't worry with these. Don't rush them because otherwise they won't be cooked. And always do your best. Okay. Right. So next we need our plate ready. So there's our plate. And I've got some caster sugar on there. So once these come out, we are going to toss them in caster sugar. I'm just going to give you a close-up of these, just so you can see, without burning my computer. Okay, so there you are. That's the type of colour we are going to be looking for. And if you look at them, they will slightly rise up. And they're going to continue to rise. Okay, they won't rise. Now, if you push them, if you slightly touch them, then you can feel whether they're cooked inside. If they're very firm, like these ones, are firmer than the other ones. Okay, so I think that one and that one are going to be cooked. But if you look at the side here, if I press that one, you can see how squidgy it is. So that's not quite cooked. So I'm going to turn these down a little bit. Okay, because we want the heat, but we don't want them to brown too much. Okay, so I'm going to move you back. Okay, and I'm going to check these on these side. I don't want them to burn. Yep, so these two are done. Here. Okay, and this one is done. And this one is good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish these off. Okay, so I'm going to finish these three. More plates, more washing up. So just going to lift them out gently onto there. Next ones. Now these traditionally you would do on a solid top, what they call an arga. And these were very good. These sort of things, you do crumpets the same sort of way, muffins. And they've got these ones up north and in Scotland called stovies. So now we are going to toss them in the sugar. So in they go. So, while they're still warm. So it's a bit like a scone donut or a scone donut. Scone or scone, whichever way you like. You say tomato, I say tomato. There we are. Okay. And there you go. There is our finished product. So you can see, cooked inside. Lovely. Great fresh. Okay, so how is yours doing okay? How are they doing? Ooh. So I'm going to take these off now. Don't forget, turn your stove off. All right. So you can, if you're on a diet like myself, then you can forego the sugar. They will still taste nice. Just toss them over. If you want to use different sugar, put some cinnamon in the sugar, maybe. So that's it for this week. So next week, we're going to be back at college, aren't we? So there will still be a live one. We'll still have this. I might move it to a Friday evening so we can do one outside of college. So next week, I think we're going to do peri peri chicken. So join me for peri peri chicken. All right? Be like a cheeky Nando's. Monday will be exciting, Oliver. You get to see all your friends again, all the teachers, yeah? We'll be welcoming you back. Okay. So there we are. There is our finished cakes. Okay. So, well done, everybody. Good work. And I shall see you very soon. Bye.